Hey everybody, it's Roger with Kinsta. I'm joined by my good friend again, Birgit. Hey Birgit, how are you?
Hey Roger, hey everybody. Well, it's good. Yeah, life is good. I'm going over to WordCamp Asia in 3 weeks, or it starts in 3 weeks, less than three
Yeah,
weeks.
it's
Yeah,
coming up
exciting.
really soon, and that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to reach out to you and talk to you today, because you're going to have a
Awesome.
presentation there,
Mhm.
and it's kind of dealing with playgrounds. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the presentation is going to be on?
Yes, of course. So Playground is a phenomenal tool because it gives you a WordPress instance without server. So you can go to playground.wordpress.net and you get a full instance of WordPress and can play around with it. You could even save it. You can do a lot of other things with it. And one of them is that you can configure Playground with so-called blueprints to be a little bit more impactful when you want to showcase your plugin or your theme, so you can add certain settings to it. And that's what the talk is about, how you can use blueprints and certain steps on blueprints to make it a little bit more individual for a certain use case. So, for instance, you could do say, okay, I want to have I want to have a playground that has a great block theme installed and Gutenberg, and that's how I do my themes. And every time you click on that link that has that configuration with the blueprint, you get a new instance of WordPress with both plugins installed. And immediately go into an admin section. So you can automatically be logged in. And then if you want to, you can connect it even with a GitHub repo, and all the changes to the theme that you made, you can then push as a PR to GitHub. So it's kind of really magic. Yeah,
No,
all the
absolutely.
connections. But yeah.
Yeah, so this is really amazing because when Playground first came out, it was like, oh my goodness, WordPress install in the browser. You can just spin it up really quickly. That it was pretty quick that you could then save that, you could export it and then send it up. But it sounds like now it's definitely hitting much more of the developer focused level with blueprints, because that was always kind of the frustration I think with Playground was you always started from scratch. Now with a blueprint, you can start from how you want to work from it. And then this GitHub integration sounds really interesting. To back up for a second into the blueprints, does that only work with plugins and themes, or if you have like custom code or anything that you want in there, is it,
Oh,
how malleable is this?
very much so. You could even use WP-CLI commands to, for instance, spin up 50 new posts, because what you want to show off is how a WordPress site looks with many, many posts in it, instead of just having one Hello World one. Yeah, you could also use an export from, if you create content that is demo content, you can export it and then import it into Playground using a blueprint step. So that's what it's called. It's kind of either settings or there are steps. So settings could be, you can say, okay, this is the site for a certain testing thing, and you can change the name of the blog. And then, so that's a side option, and you can put the side options in. You could even put a side option in to say, okay, I have that content that when I upload it, I have a post 5 that's gonna, or a page 5 that's going to be my homepage. And I want to show that. So you do the settings options, page 15 be my homepage. You can also use PHP. There's a step that's called run PHP, and you have the full string of PHP that you want to put in there. So why would you use it? Well, one is if you want to do an admin notice, yeah, you can use run PHP on that, or you can have and add a new user that is an editor. Yeah, you can use that as well and say, okay, I don't want you to show the admin section of WordPress. I want to show you how it feels being an editor on WordPress. So you need to create a different user. You can do this with PHP. Yeah, so, or you could add a dashboard notice like that. Yeah, and we have now the playground interface has changed about 2 months ago, where it actually uses the data views components that are new to WordPress. So you have a little bit more usage out of it. So you have 3 columns, and on the left-hand column, you can actually have multiple sites in that one browser window or one playground instance, because you can save them. Then it gives you a new name, and then you have the list of all the saved sites that you have already in the playground itself. You can also have, there's a step that go to the blueprint gallery, and then in the middle section of it, it lists all the 15 or 16 examples on how a blueprint, or for different use cases for blueprints, that are in the blueprint gallery, that you can immediately test it first, and then also look at the blueprint and see, okay, I'm going to copy that. Yeah, that is neat. Yeah. So the playground has really changed quite a bit in the with the new interface. What else is new? Oh yeah, there's also the PR viewer. Yeah, so if you're not into blueprints, you say, oh, I want to test Gutenberg, but I don't want to kind of have the development build and then all the npm or installs and all that. I want just that. So you take the PR number from that new merged or supposed to be merged one, and add it. There's a little section there where it says preview Gutenberg PR, and then you punch in the number, and it kind of spins up a new WordPress site with that Gutenberg plugin installed with that PR. Isolated. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's really, so even for contributors, it's so much easier to test things that are there, especially for the upcoming release 6.8. It's really I'm a total fan of that, and
No, this is really exciting, and honestly, the PRs and those things, that's getting definitely outside of my brain space. But what I think is encouraging about it is that developers who are really interested in diving into WordPress, it's never been easier. Like literally, you just go to playground.wordpress.net and you can start playing around with all of this stuff. And I think what's important as we're trying to get younger generation interested in WordPress, I think it's important for them to realize, like, hey, if you can learn how to develop for WordPress, there are jobs for you today. And
Yes.
and I think that's the encouragement that I want to always be bringing to people is, hey, you can actually make a living doing this. And, we're all doing that. Come and join us. And it's never been easier. Birgit, this is fascinating. For people that are coming to your talk,
Yes.
is this going to be a primarily developer-focused talk, or is it going to be available for really anybody to comprehend?
Well, it's if you know how to copy paste code, it's kind of for anybody, right?
Okay.
But it's gonna be a little bit more developer oriented. The blueprint files are written in JSON, which is a JavaScript notation, data notation, which also we have a lot of JSONs around. It's the block JSON, it's the theme JSON, yeah, kind of.
It's
so
not
that's
JSON
kind of
from
like-
Friday the 13th, though, right? We're not going to get massacred.
Right.
Okay, so what we're
But it's
saying
small.
is
Yeah.
it feels like it's kind of an intermediate level
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
And so
It's
if
not
you're going to
beginners.
attend this talk, you should probably play with Playground a little bit, maybe learn what JSON is. It's not
Mm-hmm.
the character from the movie, it's JSON. And I, none of this stuff is rocket science. Like, let's be clear, like you can pick this stuff up pretty quickly. And I think if you do just a rudimentary of playing around with Playground, maybe try the blueprints out, maybe look at a JSON file and just get, whoa, and then they can go to your talk and you can fill in the gaps. They can ask you questions afterwards. This is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk real quick about WordCamp Asia. Have you been to the Philippines before?
No, it's my first
Okay.
time in the Philippines. So I'm gonna be there a few days earlier to do a little sightseeing, And I'm working with my favorite AI tool to get me some sightseeing tips and tricks and maps so I can actually organize that. I wanted to do an urban street art kind of tour. Yeah,
Okay.
that I kind of see if that works, and yeah, I'm totally interested in that. And then of course the parks and some other good sightseeing places. Food is a big part of it. So I want to learn about the local food, that are there, different kind
Excellent.
of generations of people that live in Philippines, or different cultures that live in the Philippines. It's going to be really cool.
Well, we've got Kinsta has a number of people in the Philippines. We're going to have a pretty good contingent of people there. I'll make sure to put a shout out for you to have them contact you, and maybe they can join you on your sightseeing and give you some local flavor or whatnot.
That would be
But
great.
it's really exciting. I'm not going to be able to make it. My colleagues will be there though, so that's going to be amazing. For anybody that's looking to go to WordCamp Asia, February 20th to 22nd, it's in Manila. Get your tickets. I think there's still tickets, but they might
still
not
tickets.
be. Okay, there's still tickets. All right, well, really exciting. Birgit, as always, it's amazing talking to you. I love your enthusiasm for the project, and I hope it infects everybody else and gets them excited too.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I love all the shows that you do. I watch all of them, so yeah, kudos to you to kind of be so consistent in raising other people's voices. Really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Birgit, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, you take care. Bye.